Hello again, y'all, out there in YouTube land. Gen X Man coming at you with another video. It's gonna be a bit of a late night one for me. I just got done rewatching Daredevil Born Again, episodes 5 and 6. They gave us a double drop, which, having watched the videos, it was like, oh, okay, I see why. And I have to confess, my wife made the point, and I can't really argue with it, that maybe, possibly, I went into the show with rose-tinted goggles because there's a lot that's eating away at me the longer we get into this series and the more ground we cover with it. That being said, I still love Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin, etc., etc. Fantastic job, loving it. That's production value is very good. Fight choreography is okay. It's not season one. At least not these last two episodes. It's not quite. Maybe the stairway fight in episode 5, because I was very impressed with that. But as far as the visceral physicality of season 1, which I just rewatched not too long ago, definitely not in 6, not episode 6, unless we're talking about Fisk. But anyway, I got some notes here. I'm trying to get through this as quick as I possibly can, because I feel like those half an hour videos, they ain't cutting it for busy professionals, and y'all just want to get to the meat and potatoes, which I understand. I sympathize. But anyway, episode 5 felt extremely disconnected from the entire story. Like, it felt like the entire episode was just there to put Matt Murdock in contact with Yusuf Khan, Kamala Khan's dad, and so that there was some linkage there, which I believe will pay off later down. I hate to use air quotes, but pay off later down the road when they do some sort of team up or something. I believe that's what they're moving towards. Goodness forbid they abandon that idea too. So that's what it felt like. It's what the whole episode felt like was, hey, we got half of an idea for an episode. Let's force this connection between these two characters so that we can have the connections between Daredevil and Miss Marvel later on down the road for something. Another criticism I had was Detective Angie Kim. She goes way overboard with the I am a grizzled old annoyed cop routine and nothing. I really didn't care for her acting. Whoever the actress is on that, it was just like I said though. The stairway fight was sweet, especially when Matt grabs the guy and he's like shh, and you're just like, oh, that was good. That was really good. Which again goes back to Charlie Cox's acting. The guy is great in this role, just loving it. I wish he had better material most of the time. They kept introducing the plot thing of this orange yellow diamond, whatever it is, and the entire time I'm just sitting here like, why do we care? It's like, okay, I mean, they literally could have been stealing anything worth 1.8 million to pay off the debt to the other crime boss or whatever. I don't know. It felt like they were teasing the audience, being like, "Oh, this diamond, it's going to be important. It's something." And we're like, "Oh, okay. Why do we care?" Like, it was not landing. The importance of that diamond was not landing. I did some research online. Nobody seems to have any idea about its importance other than maybe it's an infinity stone, which I was like, "Oh God, please don't let it be an infinity stone, please, please." I'm begging, please. Um, but also the tail end, things are getting resolved. The inside, the plant, the woman, she's escaping. Matt doesn't chase her because he's already bamboozled her with some butterscotch. Okay, I got that. But he chases down the Irishman, beats the crap out of him, maims him, which I'm like, well, whatever. But no interrogation, no trying to find out who was behind this. That felt very, very odd. It was like, why would he not be like, who's behind this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Just episode 5 felt very forced. It did not flow. Especially coming on my last video where I was talking about how bloated the conflicts and the plots were getting, and here's yet another one that's just very loosely tied into the main story and was just like, I guess, it didn't work for me. It just didn't work for me. But there were parts of it that I loved. So there's that. Moving on to episode 6. Now, here we go again with the BB report being nothing more than a plot advancement tool and so on and so forth. And it was showing that swordsman guy on that video. That was cringy. I am sorry. That was just like seeing a grown man in broad daylight whapping people with a fencing EP. Yeah, that's what they call them, EP. I was just like, it's embarrassing, dude. I and the guy, $10 says it was the French, Spanish, whatever guy that delivered the warning to Fisk at that highfalutin dinner. I was like, yeah, that's him. That's why he was giving Fisk the warning about vigilantes and so on. Spoilers. Oh, what a twist! Not really. Uh, Again, we have another scene with the shrink and Matt that just doesn't seem to work. Like she doesn't seem like a human being that finds Matt alluring and attractive and wants to be in a relationship with him and wants to know more about him, so on and so forth. She absolutely seems like somebody who has a freaking agenda, and she may have tipped it off in this when she was like, "Hey, you know the Punisher. Can you get me an interview? Hey, you know Daredevil. Can you get me an interview?" I was just sitting there like, "Ah, God, she seems like she's sleazy. I don't like her. I don't trust her. Uh-uh. She ain't jiving with me. I ain't liking that at all." Say, Matt, get out now before it gets bad. But we know Matt. Matt Murdock loves him some complicated and destructive relationships. Electra. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Strange. But moving on. Again, we have some more caustic attacks from the Ayala girl that function less as dialogue from a human being than from the writers trying to get Matt to put on the suit. Because I watched the scene, I watched it once for enjoyment. I came back and rewatched it for review purposes here, and my goodness, like it struck me that this isn't how human beings talk to each other, and she is just laying into him. She stops just short of saying, "You're Daredevil. Why aren't you putting on the suit?" That's how it struck me. I was just sitting there like, lady, come on. Like if she is a legit character and she's approaching him saying, "You're the lawyer tried to help my uncle who was a superhero," and she's yelling at him, "Why don't you do more?" What more? Like he says it himself. He's a lawyer. What is he supposed to do? Heck, he's a blind lawyer. What is he supposed to do? So if she knows he's Daredevil, this is doing a poor job of letting the audience know that to make her accusations and her attacks make more sense. Because right now just sounds omniscient. Like she just knows these things and is taking him to task for not putting on the suit, and it ain't working. It ain't working for me. Plus, it's creepy. Like she sounds like a little. I don't know if they did some digital voice stuff with her or anything like, but she's a tiny little thing, and she's supposedly what early mid 20s, and I was just like, ooh, oh god. Oh, we got the moss back again. God dang it. But anyway, moving on from all that, uh, the Kingpin. I keep coming back to the Kingpin having a way more enjoyable arc. Like especially him busting through his suits. You see him getting bigger. He's revitalizing. He's restoring his vigor. And then when he just takes at him and tosses him around like a rag doll, and especially at the end when he's sitting there and he's basking in the afterglow, just beating this dude's butt, and he's just like, "Yes, this is me. I'm back. I'm where I should be. Everything is right with the world." It was good. I'm sorry, that was more than good. That was fantastic. It was great. I love watching that. And I feel like it's like, yeah, it's Daredevil Born Again, but I feel like Kingpin is having way more of an interesting and streamlined arc that makes much more sense and just works. Whereas Daredevil is Matt Murdock is kind of, his motivation didn't make sense. His to not put on the suit. His, yeah, just And you know, it's just not working. It's not. Whereas Kingpin is just like he wanted to go legit so that he could be mayor and be legit. He's fighting against his own nature, and he realizes that, and now he's at that point. But thank goodness here we are, episode 6. Matt finally puts the suit back on and is Daredevil again, and you're like, okay, thank you. Now we can move forward with the TV show. Because I feel like the first 6 episodes didn't do a sufficient job in showing why Matt took off the suit and refused to put it back on, and so on and so forth. And just, yeah, yeah. I feel like they did a much better job on the Kingpin side than they did on the Daredevil side. And again, we have language being used by characters like Cherry meeting with Matt and such, just saying things that are just like these function less as human beings talking to each other and more as, plot advancement, etc. It's like I need this character to say this so that this, it's just like it's not working for me. Oh, I love it. Yayala girl going after Muse, armed with her trusty cell phone and her plucky courage. That girl weighs what? 50 pounds? Like, my goodness. Even if this was the tiniest serial killer ever, it's I mean, it was beyond stupid. It was absolutely suicide. The only possible justification that I could imagine was that she was trying to force a superhero out of the shadows to come rescue her, which is just dumb. I mean, nobody knows where she is, what she's doing. Unless she knows somehow that Matt's Daredevil, which I'm just like, I'm calling BS on that because they haven't set that up at all. So, her going down there, you're just like, well, this was suicide. She was just like, I hate being alive. I want to be a Muse victim. Vaya con Dios, as they would say. I also had Daredevil returning. He finally puts the suit back on. He goes to get it, and he's just like, "Fuck it." You're just like, "That's it. That's the big cathartic moment." I mean, you got Fisk over there again. You see the handling of Fisk and his arc is just way more balanced and streamlined and thought out, and it works better, and so on and so forth. I feel bad for Charlie Cox and so on. Yeah, putting away my notes here. And but finally, one last point though was when Vincent D'Onofrio is just beating the crap out of that guy, and he's just beat him down, and he's just like, and you're like, oh, God, it was so good. It was so good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, would I rate these 2 episodes? Let's say on a scale of 5 stars. My gosh, I'd give episode 5 2.5 maybe. It was not up to snuff as far as what I know Daredevil the series can be. And it's episode 6. I'd probably give that more like 3.5. Like it's solid. It has some good action here and there. Again, Kingpin had the better action, I felt. Although it was nice watching Matt beat the crap out of this Muse guy. Because I told the wife, I was like, I'm getting so tired of every villain in this series being, having 3 black belts in, 3 different martial arts and just going toe to toe with Daredevil. And I'm like, I know they think the audience needs that to feel justified, but not everybody has to be a bad mofo. You know, it's like you can make a fight interesting without everybody being highly trained. I mean, of course, we want fights like that, but not every fight. So it was nice seeing Muse just being a bit more of a insane brawler, not so much a martial artist. That was nice. I did appreciate that. But that's about all my thoughts over these 2 episodes. Again, episode 5 was weak. Episode 6 was better. But again, I'm starting to worry. I got the rose tinted goggles going on. So we'll see. I'm going to stick with it, and I'll let you all know what my thoughts are if you're, watching this to determine if you want to watch it or not. So I will be back in probably a week with another review. But thank you all who all stopped by. Thanks for all the subscriptions and the likes and so on and so forth. It's been awesome. And I will catch you probably next video is going to be Super Saturday, so I'll catch you in that one. Y'all take care. Bye now.